All right, you guys, welcome back to eXp Family Tree. Thanks for joining us for our Wednesday Mastermind, where we bring guests in to talk about a variety of different strategies, productivity options, niches in business, to become inspired, motivated, to learn, to grow together, to share and connect. And we appreciate you doing that. As you guys know, there are 9,000 of us here now in eXp Family Tree, which is fantastic. Keep inviting your friends, and you can watch live stream right now, which many of you are. You can join us via Zoom. So if you have the chance, go ahead and click on the Zoom link and join us live instead. And also, if you want to chat under the live stream, you can do that. I will monitor that today, as well as, of course, if you're here live on Zoom, you can raise your hand and chat in the chat box. If you watch us later in the live stream, because by the way, it stays in a live stream forever and ever in eXp Family Tree. You can go back and watch any of the past episodes, if you will, that we have done. Or if you're watching live later, or not live, watching the recording later on YouTube, just reach out to me if you want to get connected to any of the speakers or the guests, because I can absolutely make that happen. So this is for not only those of us that are partnered at eXp, but for anybody in the industry. So remember, we do these every Wednesday at the same time, and it's open to everyone and anyone. This is just to bring value, to grow, and to learn from each other, because I'm a firm believer that together we always achieve more than we can on our own. So thanks for being part of it, you guys. Truly appreciate it. And without further ado, we have a guest here before the guest. And we do that once in a while if you guys join these, because I get the chance to become connected with people all the time who have really cool things to share. And this just becomes a great venue for that. And so Michael Edwards, who's on the call today, reached out to me via work chat, which I love, by the way. If you're with an eXp and you're not chatting people, chat me and use work chat and use workplace as much as possible, to share something that he's working on and to bring some exposure. So Michael, can you just give us a little introduction of yourself? And you do have access to share your screen, by the way, if you'd like to.
Oh, cool.
So whatever works for you. And we'd love to hear what you're up to.
Very good. Well, I have to start by saying I love what you're doing here. Building community for those that don't have community is just so important. And, I'm in the driver's seat of getting to understand what agents say, and you are filling a big need by creating this family tree. So I love what you're doing. Happy to be here. Real quick introduction. I'm Michael Edwards. I've been with the company nearly 2 years now. I started out working with the global operations team, opening up offices in all of our international world. And in September of last year, I was able to work with our senior leaders and stand up a group called the NPS Insights and Strategies team. And what the NPS Insights and Strategy team is, a team that uses different tools to listen to our agents and our employees and take that information and feedback back to our C-level leaders, our business leaders, and say, hey, look, here's what our agents are saying. Here's some things I think we can do to help improve that. So it's a really exciting, I tell people I've got the coolest job on the planet. And just to give you a little bit more of my background, I've retired from the telecom industry of 25 years to join my wife, who's been selling real estate since 2008. So I got my license in, I think it was February 2019. And, the day after I got my license, COVID hit. So I helped her sell real estate. Then I joined eXp as a staff member. And it's been a wonderful ride. We're down here in San Antonio, Texas, where it's about 150 degrees right now. But that's not stopping people from buying real estate, fortunately. So I'll walk you through just a really quick deck that I put together to help explain what I do and how you can help us make this the most agent-centric real estate company on the planet. And that's our mission, right? That's you'll hear Glenn say that all the time. And the team, the NPS Insights and Strategies team, that's really what we're here to do. We're here to help bring that mission to life. And I love to share this video. So, Glenn is a huge proponent of literally running the business with our Net Promoter Scores.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll share this video with you really quickly. I'm hoping you'll be able to hear it. Let me know if you can hear. Is the audio coming through?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Let's
Can you
see.
ad lib? Can you tell us what Glenn says?
The most important metric, in my opinion.
Okay, let's back it up then.
Hi, my name's Glenn Sanford. I'm the founder of eXp Realty and CEO of eXp World Holdings. So NPS, and you'll hear about this all over the place inside of eXp Realty, but it stands for Net Promoter Score, and it's the most important metric, in my opinion, that an organization can measure. It's a very simple question. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely is it that you would refer a friend or colleague, or how was your transaction, or how was this, or how was that? And then the follow-on question is, what most prompted you to give us that score? And from that, we get some meaningful data, and that goes back to our team, and we're able to then improve systems and processes for you. And as we grow, we have to put in tools to actually help us listen better. And so really, this is about listening at scale and then building the community at scale, because we want this to be the best place that you can be, whether you're an agent, broker, staff, or ultimately our customer.
So I share that video because it's so important that when you have something as neat as Net Promoter, that you really walk the talk. You've probably given feedback in organizations and they haven't done anything with it. The eXp Realty is so different because Glenn truly does run the business with NPS. We meet every Tuesday morning with the entire senior team, and the very first thing we talk about is Net Promoter. So I'll go into a little bit of detail about what that looks like. So the Net Promoter, you may use this in your business to measure how your customers are feeling about you. But Fred Reichheld, he pioneered the Net Promoter system, and it started out as two really simple questions, and Glenn mentioned them. On a scale of 0 to 10, please, how likely are you to recommend eXp Realty to a friend or colleague? And then the next question is, what most influenced you to give us that score? And those two questions we've asked tens of thousands of agents throughout the course of the year and get really good feedback. Now, at the beginning of the year, we actually added an additional question. We call it the Jenny question. It's called the Jenny question because it's named after Fred's daughter, who is also in data analytics. And she added the question, is there one thing we could do to make your experience more exceptional? So that's our Net Promoter survey. It's a 3-minute survey, but it gives us a wealth of information. And Fred is the pioneer there. So a quick show of hands or nod of heads. Who has received and completed an NPS survey?
I probably have. I think I've seen it.
Cool,
it was a little while back. Yeah.
Yeah. So the NPS survey comes from an email address, no reply at exprealty.net. And it comes out based on your join date with eXp.
Okay.
So you'll get a survey at day 7, at day 30, at day 60, and at day 90, and quarterly thereafter for the rest of your life. You'll also get what we call a trigger-based survey when you close a transaction. And all of those things are to help us understand how the processes went, what your experience is like, and what we can do to improve it. We also just deployed a new survey. I call it the on-demand survey. It's through MyEXP, the MyEXP app. If you've got your MyEXP app up and running, there are a little, see if you can see it, little smiley face.
Oh yeah, on the
Brownie
side.
face. If you click that, that will take you to an NPS survey, so you can give the exact same information there. So that's a new one. We just launched that a little while ago.
Awesome.
And the scoring system, I'll touch a little bit about that. But when you get to the what most influenced you to give us that score, that's where it's super important to give actionable feedback. Saying Michael Edwards is horrible. Okay, cool. We'll note that. But saying, hey, my interaction with Michael Edwards, this is what happened, and here's how we could possibly improve that. That is so helpful.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a good example of a time where we were actually able to stop everything we were doing review a process and then fix it. So I keep a real-time net promoter ticker all day long. So I see these comments come in, and I've also got a chat with the senior team leaders open all the time.
Mhm.
And a comment came in about a process. And I looked at the comments and I thought, I think this is one that we really need to dig into. So I threw it into the chat and said, hey, here's a comment from an agent, just happened. Can somebody reach out? So one of the senior leaders volunteered to reach out to the agent. They call the agent, and you can imagine, I'm Michael Edwards, real estate agent in San Antonio, Texas, getting a phone call from our chief operating officer, our chief information officer. Kind of cool. Got a little bit more information, understood what the process was, and we put a timeout in the process. We said, hey, stop. Let's figure this out. Are we doing this because it's a regulatory thing that we have to do, or is it just something that we could catch up? Within 72 hours, that process was redefined, implemented differently, in a much more agent-centric, friendly manner. So that's an example of just one comment changing the way we do business for 88,000 agents. So if you think that the comments are just send in and nobody watches them, there are a ton of people that look at those comments.
Awesome.
So really quickly, how we categorize these comments.
Yeah, about 1 minute, because I want to make sure Mary has all her time, if you don't mind.
Oh, awesome.
Keeping you on pace.
So actually, you heard the really important pieces.
Yep.
I would just love to take some questions and answers if you have any.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is that you have 9,000 agents here, and we ask each other questions and we give each other suggestions in this group all the time. Or like, hey, I don't like how this works. Or who do we talk to? Or what do we do? And I think what we can all do, and those of us watching and all the live streams, and if you run across this, is encourage each other to go fill that out. Because now we know that it's not just have a survey to feel good that we were able to share something. We now know that Michael is behind the scenes actually watching it, and that if there's something that's very important and we can get a detailed description, we can tell them why it's really important, they will listen to it, and we can actually continue to improve our systems. Remember, you guys, we're an agent-owned company. We actually bring our friends and family and colleagues to this company. And so if there's something that isn't working, then we have the responsibility to provide suggestions and share so that we can continue to make it better, especially as we grow. And so one of the things about being an agent-owned company is everybody gets excited because we get to get part of the revenue. We get to be shareholders, but it's also our responsibility to be the eyes on the boots on the ground and to be able to share the feedback so we can continue to be better and better and better, so that we're all continuing to be proud and excited to grow the organization. And so, by the way, this is a great example of leadership. So if you've got your own organization, maybe you should be doing surveys to your own people too. That's an aha for me. So from a learning perspective and a takeaway, if you have 5 people, 10 people, 100 people under you, or 1,000 people under you, you could simply send an email, and they probably are going to reply to you because you're close to them or they know you, and ask for some feedback. And then also say feedback from our organization perspective. But, oh, by the way, if there's something that you can contribute and add value to help EXP be better, go to your app and click here and send feedback. So let's pass it on. Let's help Michael continue to get the data that they need so that this actually continues to improve our company. And for those of you that are watching live, please give me a thumbs up or something and let me know that you're going to do this. And we'll continue to put it out there. Michael, what I'll do too is make sure that I comment below this live stream and just let people know that the first 15 minutes of this call they might want to watch if they've got some suggestions.
Perfect.
So what we can do to push this out amongst all of the members of EXP Family Tree for sure.
Fantastic. And I'll tell you, you can get me or my team on Workplace Chat. We live in Workplace Chat. We've got a workplace group called NPS Measures What Matters. And then the last thing is we've got an email address, npsteam@exprealty.net. So you can send us information. If you need help on creating a survey for your business, I can help.
Can you type that, Michael, in the chat for all of us? That'd be great. And I'll grab it and put it on the live stream as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you all for your time. And thank you all for what you do. I think that what you're doing is amazing, and so excited that we have people like you at the company.
Awesome. Well, if you ever get feedback on specific trainings and what people like and things of that nature, we can always take some of that feedback and try to optimize what we're doing here in EXP Family Tree. So share it with me.
Perfect. You got it.
Awesome. Thank you
Awesome.
for being here.
Thank you
right,
all.
you guys, we appreciate that. It's an important part of this company. And so I'm glad we got Michael to come in here and talk a little bit with us. And today we have Mary Love. She's the president of Love the Green Real Estate Consulting Firm. And she's down in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, right, Mary?
That's right.
Awesome, which is, I want to go there. I know multiple people, I see pictures, it looks beautiful. And so we're very excited to have her talk about how you create your green niche in business in the real estate industry. So we're going to talk about like, where are you in your business now? Where do you want to go? And then how can you actually take some actionable steps to create a green niche if you want to? And so Mary, before we get into that, and that might be part of your presentation, can you just give us a little bit about yourself? And then let's get right into the content. I'm super excited to learn from you.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me to be here. And Pam, I appreciate you making the connection with it. I'm always delighted to talk to EXP. They have an interest in general from many people that I know that's in EXP about sustainability. So I'm always excited to talk to EXP people. About myself, I live and breathe sustainability. It just was a natural thing for me. I grew up on a farm in East Tennessee. Before there was organic farming, there was what was called, you're a dirt poor farmer. And that was us, you know, we were sustainable because we had to in order to survive. And my grandmother was a Cherokee. So I just had this natural love for the earth. And that my family, because of we're builders too. We were iron-smith, builders, and farmers. And I just had a natural flow of appreciating the earth and also the homes that we lived in. Mm-hmm. And I am a teacher. I was in the teaching profession and environmental scientist, lived in Tennessee, writing a lot of grants, teaching a lot of interesting, controversial classes at the time, way back when. Then I moved to California, thought I would pull up my environmental business more there. Interesting enough, I did not. Northern California and Southern California are two different places, very much. Southern California was not interested in any form of sustainability at the time I was there. Before there was a designation called green building for a degree, there were a lot of certification programs, and I would just, you know, naturally was attracted to that. I was in the parking lot and I saw this big trailer that said Energy Star, and I was like, what's that? This is in the early 1990s, you know, and I was like, what's that? And went into the trailer and found out that they were talking about wanting to do homes Energy Star, because I knew it was for computers and things like that. And that was my path. That's what got me on it. I love the idea of building a home sustainably, high performance, because building it as a system, because that made sense to me, right? Sustainability is about how everything is connected. And so when we went to being able to connect a building together and see the way that the systems go together, it just made perfect sense. And I was ready to leave California, sort of looking around to see where I wanted to go. I had family in Asheville, so I was researching Asheville, and I saw that they had this little, they had Western North Carolina Green Building Council. So I called them and I said, oh, I would love to come and work for you. And the guy that answered, he goes, well, that's not going to happen because there's only 3 members in the nonprofit. Yeah. And I said, don't worry, I will write myself a grant and be your first employee. And I was. That's what I did. So I moved to California, I moved to North Carolina, to Asheville, wrote a grant to create a green building certification program for the state of North Carolina. In 2004, I became the project manager for that certification program. And my job was to convince builders, realtors, appraisers, and customers that they should care about the way a house was built and they should care about what they do in their yard and sustainability and this thing called organic, and all of that was getting started. And, you know, a lot of people had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
So I really had to build that from the base of why people should care, why they would be interested, and why a builder should build a green home, and why a customer should want one. And being a teacher, I had always been involved in real estate investing, but I never got my real estate license because in California, you were much better off being an investor without a license, just because of the legality of it. But in North Carolina, it was a little different. And I thought, well, I need to know what the realtors, what do they need to know? What will help them as I create classes and courses for them? And so I got my real estate license. And then I found out that I really, really enjoyed helping individuals, you know, find a home and list a home, and that whole creativity of change in their own life. And plus they were, you know, a captured audience back when we drove them around. You know, I got to tell them what all I thought about it. So that's my long story of why I do what I do. And I measure my success. Now, I will say, so I have a coaching business in Mary Love Consulting. And basically I focus on coaching realtors primarily on either how to make their business more sustainable financially as well as environmentally sustainable, and as well to teach them, if they want to go into that green niche, about how to do that. And so I measure my success on how many green certified homes have I helped create in an area, and how many realtors have I helped at least think about it. A lot of people will take a class and not ever pursue all of the steps, but they will do something. And my motto is a little bit of something's better than a whole lot of nothing. You know, so in Asheville, I was very pleased to have this statistics come out. In Asheville, we captured of new construction for last year, 5% was certified green homes. Now that is huge, people, because in California, in LA, it's only 2%.
Mm-hmm.
So population wise, when you take into consideration, it's huge how many homes we capture. So that has been done not because of just me. It's been done because of the network and the connection and the fellowship of other realtors and builders, and what I call champions of how we made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I listen to what you all say, and I'm thinking 88,000, 9,000 on here, hear these numbers, and I'm like, hey, listen, realtors have the possibility to change the world. I want every single person that is listening to this, if you decided that you wanted to make sustainability the leading factor in your business, then you could change the world in a year. If all of EXP decided that they just wanted to do one thing related to sustainability in their business and promote it, we could change the world, literally. Because think about the power that realtors have. All right, we are the ones who drive the what's cool, what's not, what's important, what's, you know, we're the ones that then drive the appraisal value. Those of us that's been in this business for a long time remember when granite countertops started being used in kitchens. At first, some people were like, oh, I don't know about that. That's not so good. And then the luxury group of realtors decided that that was a really cool thing to do. And they started promoting that, and it sort of trickled down, and then everybody expected to have granite countertops. Now, those of you that's not been in this business very long think, well, yeah, that's not even a big deal now, but it was at the time. So if we decided that a energy efficient heat pump was more important than a flex room, imagine what would happen. And we have the power and the ability to promote that and to change that. So not only do we have the ability to make a huge difference in individual lives, we have the ability to make a huge difference, be that change agent in the world. So that's why I do what I do. Yeah, I'm super excited about helping realtors in my own business and Love the Green. I have done a huge shift. I've been in this, I've had my own company for 23 years now. And I used to take new realtors. Then I was like, no, I just want to keep the ones going so I could sort of teach on other. I have a lot of other companies that I have taught, and they've gone out and taken the suggestions or recommendations I've made and are making their own huge impact in sustainability in different places and in Nashville as well. But I've switched around and decided I'm taking a bunch of young realtors, just fresh out of school, and I'm going to teach them all this, because I think we have to touch base with the young. And I know as we listen off of this, if you are a NAR Green certified agent, then you probably have already seen the statistics. But most of the NAR Green certified statistics, people that take that and are certified, the majority are women in their 50s or older. That's the majority of us that are certified. So we've got to help the younger ones, even though the younger population, all of the statistics that you say about marketing, the younger population are the ones that say they care about the environment, they care about energy efficiency, all of this reasons of why we should focus on a green niche. Those are the ones that are not doing that work in their own business. So we really got to help those. So as EXP, you all really help each other and raise each other up. That is something I would love to see you all do, is to really help promote our younger realtors, younger in age, not just younger in the business, but younger in age, to get them excited about going into, at this point, let me just show you, I will show you something, I'll share something, because there really isn't a niche anymore. This is my favorite marketing group that does studies, is Shelton Enterprise. And they did a study that said of everybody that they polled, 57% of the Americans believe that the climate change is occurring and caused by human activity. 57%. Now, if we look at all of the statistics that are in the NAR sustainability report that came out this year, almost all of our numbers of anything to do with customer concerns and desires are over 50% when we're dealing with the sustainability. Energy efficiency is the second consideration for buying a house now. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a niche any longer. It is a demand, a requirement. It's something that all of us as realtors really need to understand, because that is what our clients are moving to. That's what they care about, and that's what they're asking information for. And I saw that we had a question in, and I am fine to answer questions as we go along. Sure. So I just wanted to see.
What is your number one recommendation that is easy for someone to get started to be green in their home, and how could we help as realtors? That's great, because that's great value to bring to database and to start sharing out there. Great question. Mm-hmm.
So the number one recommendation that I make for my homeowners when I'm talking to them is to look at their house and see how many things that they can improve with what's called weatherization. And weatherization is simply adding insulation, caulking, and sealing cracks. And that alone that's the biggest return on your investment. That is something that they feel. So if they add insulation to their house and they seal around their windows and they use weather stripping on their doors, that's going to be an immediate comfort for them. And they're actually going to see a reduction in their energy bills. And I know for us in Asheville, because our medium home price has just exploded, you know, we are in the 500s now. That's what a lot of first-time homeowners are trying to hit into at that price point too. And they don't have a lot of money for the $300 electric bill. You know, so when we say weatherization affects the energy efficiency, it helps them with their electric bill. That's the best topic. And I have I stuck my contact information in the chat. Please be sure to share that. Yeah, I put out on my social media sites a lot of information about, hey, there's this weatherization, you can do this, or here's a little tip. I have those type of things. So you feel free to just reshare that, tweak it to your own use in your own social media. All right. So I just, because this is a more of an informal process of what we're doing with the mastermind concept today, there are just some things that I want to make sure that I say to you, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&As with this. But please be sure to check out my website. This is the consulting website that I have more information on. My lovethegreen.org website. That is my real estate website. It has a lot of traditional real estate information on it. I do have some more information of sustainability that's client driven. This website is more for realtors and builders with information on that. But as I said, 57% of the people are concerned about the environment. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. 61% out of the last poll that we had in 2022 from NAR, 61% of the customers said they care about sustainability, but only 1% of the realtors have a niche in it. Mm-hmm. So as I said, it shouldn't be a niche really, as much as that many people care. However, it still is. So listen, if you've been in this, you know it. If you're new, here's the riches are in the niches. Take a niche, find your niche, and I recommend making sustainability your niche, your green niche, because that sets yourself apart and be an example of what it is that you're creating. Mm-hmm. We've talked about how realtors have the ability to influence the world. I will say that I think energy efficiency, so those of you who are like, oh, where do I start? How do I go? Energy efficiency is a great consideration to talk to homeowners. In our area, we have a form that we give out about the utility cost, because our clients want to know how much it costs to live in a house. It's very, and I know some areas it's not as important, but in our area it is. If you do decide to go into promoting yourself as, in the green niche, please use integrity, be knowledgeable, and walk the talk. Because what all surveys show right now is clients want their person that they're professional, that they're trusting in whatever field, to be sincere and honest. They are really fed up with greenwashing, generic marketing. They want to know, it is amazing how much research goes into the back end of clients now before they'll buy a product from someone. So you would think they'd actually research a lot more for realtors, but they don't. Yeah. But if you are not walking your talk, they certainly find that out very, very fast. All right. This is a good time. I do want to promote my class that I have. I created this, basically I created this particular class because I teach NAR green designation classes, and I had so many people afterwards say, well, now what do I do? And they were asking, hiring me privately, and I just couldn't get enough, right? So I just said, okay, let's do 6 things. So it's a self-pace. It could be 6 weeks. It could be 6 days. It depends on how fast you want to go through it, but it's a self-paced program. A lot of materials, PDFs, all of this that are available to you. And then what I do is every month I say, okay, here this month, people who are started in July, then at the end of July, we're going to talk about how well you did. And so we just keep pace with who joins each month. And then I review at the end of that month with that particular group who joined it in. Okay, so let's talk about what questions. Do you have any out there? I know that, yeah, just checking my time. I want to answer these questions.
Yeah. So, so you did the question from Terry. Let me make sure there's nothing here. We have a lot of people watching live. I don't see any questions. You guys remember, you can chat below the live stream if you have questions, and I can ask Mary for you. One of the things is, what about, obviously you have a program. Are there other, when you said, if you want this to be your niche, and I believe that, I say niche too, because the riches are in the niches. I've learned that my whole life. Remember, it doesn't pigeonhole you into only being an expert about that. It just makes you easier to be found. So from a branding perspective, you should pick a niche no matter what. And if it's something you're passionate about, it makes sense to be the niche because you believe in it. And so that's why I always encourage that. So now you need to then educate yourself at the highest level so that you can be the expert, but that provides you content that you can go share out to people that make you the expert and also help you start conversations about real estate. And then find people who have that as a passion as well. And that helps you to attract those clients. So what are some of the best resources for agents outside obviously of your class, because we have that as a resource as well, but are there other websites or other free classes, webinars, Facebook group, or anything that you run that would be a great segue into learning more and making sure that people can learn the right things and be educated, or at least start themselves down the right path?
Yes, because it's very confusing sometimes when you want to do this. And if you go in, it just, think about sustainability in general, then there's so many, that's so broad, right?
Yeah.
So the National Association of Realtors has the Green Designee course, and I highly recommend that because that gives you this big overview concept of what it means about sustainability in the real estate arena. And they also now have that is a course that, it doesn't cost that much. It depends on your local association that is providing that course at that time. And they also now have some online free courses about sustainability in general. And I don't know, Pam, have you taken any of those yet? They've got about 3 now that you can get.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so I highly recommend jumping on those and taking those courses. And you don't have to be NAR certified, green certified to take them. They're just out there. So that's the easiest one to jump in on. Then there are several certification programs in different states. And what I recommend, if you already know, and the certification programs are mainly for builders or for houses. Okay, that's what the programs are, for the builders or the houses. They're certifying the house. However, those are often run by nonprofits that have many courses. And you don't have to do it locally to learn what you need to do, but it's just a way, if you're using your local resource, then that's a great networking opportunity for you. We have we changed the name to Greenbelt Alliance, is a nonprofit that we have in Asheville, and we have courses online. We have wealth of information. We target many things like, hey, here's how you market yourself. Here's how you market your house. Here's, all of that is super important. What I recommend, if you all in whatever group that you're in, that you create a sustainability committee.
Mhm.
What I think that the focus of your sustainability committee should be is about educating. You know, it works really well. I have and I will, if you will email me, I will send you a link to the free video I have about, here's the 5 things I think that you should do in your sustainability committee. I've learned over the years what you should do and not do, because lots of times when we get into some in especially large real estate companies, they get lost in programming or, you know, sort of the process of how it should be, and they don't ever really accomplish anything.
Mhm.
So what I recommend is if you create your sustainability committee, that you make it about education first,
Mm.
and then you educate. And what we do in our area in North Carolina, because this goes across in Raleigh and Charlotte, we have several groups with the Green Building Council, the National Green Building Council. And we bring in experts. Now, here's the thing to remember. You do not have to know everything. In fact, you don't have to know very much about the tedious parts of high performance homes or green building or sustainability. You just need to know who does, because your job as the realtor is to be the source of the source. Yeah, that's where you make your, you know, really are the niche, is you're the source of the source. And that holds true for any niche, really. But we bring in a lot of the experts and we'll say, okay, who understand the importance of indoor air quality. And they may be an HVAC contractor, you know, but they're really into indoor air quality. Or we have some of, like we have Pro Supply. It's a building company here that is totally into all of their green products. So they just want to teach about their green products, which are quite a few. So we just take advantage of those experts locally, and I highly recommend that. That's a great way to network for you. It's a great way for the sustainability committee to do something. And then the other thing that is critical is you need to have your local MLS have some sort of green feature. And NAR provides they have a webinar and a PDF on here's the steps of how to green your MLS. So it doesn't talk so much about the political steps that's needed to green your MLS, which are there, you know, but it talks about the practical steps. So that is a free resource that everybody should take advantage of. And with that, think of when you're creating those green features, think of what's going to help an appraiser, because you remember your appraisers utilize the MLS for comparisons. And also with that, then if you do want to take on your sustainability, wants to take on that greening of the MLS, then they also should have classes on teaching people how to do the MLS. Our I volunteer for our local board of realtors, and we teach realtors about every 6 weeks on how to use the green features in the MLS, because if they're not using it, it doesn't matter. All right, I think we've got another question too. Yeah, Pam put that out. Thank you, Pam. That's right. Yeah, that was another one. So you all have in EXP, it's quite interesting, and I don't know how many people are really aware of this, but EXP has a goal to be the sustainable real estate company in the world, not just United States, but in the world. And so they do have the Climate Action Network. That's is it 2 years old, Pam?
No, just coming up on 1.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was
About 1.5,
pretty young,
maybe.
pretty
Yeah,
young.
1.5.
So a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know about it. So thank you for putting that out there, Pam. That is a great resource for you all. And
Yeah.
you can build on that. There are probably Colorado, California, you're going to have a lot easier as far as your free programs and the information that's out there, because the state requires green building practices in their code. So that's important. If you are out there all by yourself and you're in, I like to use Anniston, Alabama as an example, because Anniston, Alabama, it's where my wife grew up, and so we go down there all the time. And it is it's where Monsanto lived and breathed and killed people for a long time. I mean, they had some really a lot of lawsuits down there, and because of that, a lot of realtors were like, "Oh, nobody cares," right? Well, when they decided to put a focus on it, they found out everybody cares. Everybody cares, because everybody lives in a home that was affected with their soil and their water, right? So they all cared. And so this realtor really created more of a niche as far as the health aspect goes in sustainability. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. When I go through on the course on the things, and this is, you can just think about these, because one is you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. We talk about this. This is any type of typical coaching, right? What's your big why, your mission, your purpose? I call that your strong foundation. Well, you can have that if you're doing a niche. You need to know that in your niche as well. So you could have 2 different big whys. You can have 2 missions, purposes, or you can have, they can overlap each other. The base knowledge of, there are some websites that just have, and you can Google them, and they'll just say basic green building terms. And I don't recreate those because they're out there, and there's plenty of them. And because some of the terms that are in green building, they're all the same. It doesn't, a blower door is a blower door. It doesn't matter what state you're in. So do that. That's a great way to educate yourself, is on these basic green building terms. We already talked about finding your champions. Start looking around. If you think there's nobody in sustainability in your area that cares about green building, okay, that's fine. Is there anybody that cares about, is there a farmer's market? Do they care about local and fresh food? Do they care about organic? Is there a plant society? Is there an arboretum? Horses. I'm really big into horses. And so I know that my farmer friends, we all care about, we care about if it's going to rain or not, or if it's too hot, or what's happening with the environment as far as the weather is concerned, and how that affects our pasture land. So you think outside the box a little bit of where you're going to find your champions. Again, walk the talk. So take a survey of yourself and say, like, what am I doing right now that is, makes a difference between sustainability? I have a questionnaire that I like to send out to my clients for them to see. Also, there's, if you do a carbon footprint websites, calculators, you can see what you're doing about walking the talk. There's plenty of carbon footprint calculators out there. Most of them are free. I would not recommend that you pay for that calculation program. They're free. Most of them are set up from nonprofits, and they are hoping that you will do an offset for that nonprofit. But there's some paid ones, but you don't need to do that for the carbon offset. And then if you do not have a certification program and that's not set up, you don't have to. All you have to do is look at an existing home and start learning what you could do to make that existing home a little more sustainable. And we now have a resource. I think at the moment it's only for NAR green designees but there's a company called Pearl who is they have, in the past, our certification programs have been led either by government or nonprofits. Pearl is a for-profit business, and it has a really interesting business strategy that it's utilizing, but it's working with realtors and vendors, builders, and the government. But they are going to slowly open up more and more resources for realtors about how to help promote an existing home that they want to improve and make it more sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming. And I post about that. I'm really excited about Pearl, actually. And so I post information about that on my social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pam is on it because you're a NAR green designee. So yeah, it's a really good resource.
Yeah, actually, I'm not, Mary.
Oh, you're not?
I have not, no, but actually, and happy to say that Pearl kind of got its start here in Charlottesville. But
Oh, that's how you know them. I forgot about that. I was thinking it was, but that's because that's right. Yeah.
But you can become a Pearl certified agent and be able to list a home with a series of what whether it be bronze, silver, gold. I just made that up on the top of my head based on what the criteria are in the house. And they have a great app now called Green Door, I think it
Green
is.
Door.
It's
Green Door.
yeah, that you can share. And so thanks for letting me share that. Pearl's great.
Yeah, that's Pearl just hired a person out of North Carolina to work with. They already had somebody that was in charge to work with homeowners on making their homes more sustainable, and that's been going. But they hired somebody that's going to work with realtors to help them too. So I'm looking forward to see what they do, and that should be a great resource for all realtors anywhere. I'm glad to hear, Pam, that I thought they was only going to do it for NAR Green right now. I'm glad to hear that they're opening it up to everybody. That's awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. So if anybody wants to learn more about creating their green niche, you know how to contact Mary. I put all of this under the live stream as well. You have it here also in your chat. So grab it before before you leave. But also, if you are with EXP, go and take a look at that network. You can find them on Workplace, or you can also work chat Pam, because she's in work chat, if that's easier, and she can get you connected. I think that if you haven't figured out what your niche is and you need one, and this does resonate with you, it's definitely worth discovering a little bit more and seeing how you can add it to your business. So thank you so much, Mary, for being here. Thanks for the opportunity to learn from you, Mary. Pam, thanks for the connection to Mary. And you guys, this is going to remain live streamed in EXP Family Tree. It'll be out on my YouTube channel by this evening as well. So if you want to share it with somebody else who isn't able to watch the live stream, please do. Thanks, you guys, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mary.